Good morning. Did you know that there was a crisis in downtown Atlanta? Oh, yeah, crisis. There are thousands of homeless people that don't have anywhere to go, that are camping up and posting up and camping out in downtown Atlanta. As you know, downtown Atlanta is the home of the capital of the state of Georgia. And there's a prominent gold dome stationed right in downtown Atlanta. And every day when I drive home from work, or when I used to drive home from work, there are a multitude of homeless people living right under the gold dome, right under the capital of Georgia. There are a number of people who camp out in one of the most prominent parks in downtown Atlanta. There are a multitude of people who camp out in front of the major hotels and restaurants. There are a multitude of people who camp out at some of our major attractions in downtown Atlanta. And with all the glorious development that's occurring in the area, nobody seems to care. We have the biggest university in the state of Georgia in downtown Atlanta, and the students travel back and forth past one of the major parks in that area and walk past, over, and through the homeless as if they are invisible. There are public safety officers and, and university officers and city police officers that attempt to move the sleepers and the panhandlers away from those areas, only with the hopes of trying to make downtown look attractive enough for the people who frequent the area, for the people who come to the area for their various conventions. And no one seems to take a serious interest in trying to provide the homeless any services. I know that there is X amount of dollars that has been funneled to homeless projects for organizations to provide services to the homeless, but it seems to me that those dollars are not trickling down to the homeless people who actually need those services. And yeah, you can argue that there are a number of homeless people out there who refuse services, and there are what we call chronic homeless people out there who have been there for years and would rather sleep out in the street rather than go to a shelter because in their minds and in their opinions, they say the shelters are dangerous. They are too strict in terms of how they treat them. There are too many rules to follow. And a lot of the homeless people are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And many of them have mental health issues. We all know that. But the bottom line is we have several thousands of people who are living in the street in a major city in the United States, in a city that houses the capital of the state of Georgia, and nobody is making a serious effort to try to address this issue and are more concerned with the development of downtown Atlanta than they are to be concerned with the development of human beings. Where's our humanity? Where is our social wherewithal to try to look at people who are, no matter and despite what their situation is, are still citizens of this country? The United States purports itself as being the greatest country in the world, but yet and still we got people sleeping outside. We gave the Ukrainian refugees $63.9 billion to come to the United States and settle in when we got people living under tents and in the streets in various cities throughout the United States. And I know that that type of money has not been funneled towards any homeless programs in the country to try to eradicate homelessness, and in particularly here in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. 906 Multimedia is a company that's dedicated to address the social ills in our community, homelessness being one of them, violence being another. And we want to make the world aware of the issues that people who live in these particular communities have to go through. When you look at people as being invisible, that means you're not paying attention. And homeless people are definitely looked at as being invisible. So my company wants to bring some awareness to this issue of homelessness with the hopes of grabbing somebody's attention and giving the homeless people in the downtown Atlanta area an opportunity to be put in better positions than they are now. So we are in the stages of producing a stage play called We're Not Invisible. And it will depict a point of view of what members of the homeless community have to go through on a daily basis. It's easy to walk past people. It's easy to look at people on the news. It's easy to have your opinions and your viewpoints about why and what you think about people being homeless. It's different when you get a bird's eye view of what people who live uh, in the streets have to go through on a daily basis. Would you be able to sleep on cardboard every night with newspaper being your blanket? Would you be able to sleep under the elements of rain, thunderstorms, cold weather every day, every night? Would you be able to have to dig in a garbage can for a meal and try to figure out where your next meal is going to come from? Would you be able to not receive any medical assistance or medical attention for illnesses that you've suffered since you've been out in the streets? Would you uh, know what it's like to not get up out your warm and comfortable bed and get up in the morning and take a hot shower and go to your kitchen and get a warm meal? Would you know what that feels like? That's an issue that most homeless people have to go through on a daily basis. 906 wants to give you an opportunity to see uh, what that's like, upfront and personal, uh, rather than take you through the streets and actually see that, which is almost impossible for you to do unless you work out there on a daily basis, which is something I did for the last 5 years. And that's why I know what it's like and I see what it's been like. We want to show you that. In order for us to do it, we need to get a venue, and we're asking you to assist us financially with some dollars to tie down a venue so that we can bring this to you, and more importantly, bring it to the eyes of the developers that are downtown in Atlanta trying to do some good things for our citizens in the same way that we're trying to do some good things for our citizens, namely the homeless. So take some time, go to my page on Twitter, Rob Bell, go to my page on Facebook, click on our icon, go to our GoFundMe page, and donate what you can to try to help us secure the funds we need and help us reach our goal so that we can put on this dynamic play to give you an idea of what it's like to be homeless in downtown Atlanta.